on everything he made. He had that on it.
That is something.
That will go into the museum over there when we get further along with that at Lubbock, you know.
Yeah. Is this the Buddy Holly Memorial Foundation? I was talking to Larry Corbin this morning.
Yeah, they're needing things like that, you know, and I'll...
Could I take a photograph of that?
Oh, yeah.
That is something that I don't think's ever been shown in England.
No. They've always interviewed me at the station or meet me in Lubbock, interview me there, and this is always here at the house, so...
No one's ever seen that. I think I probably need a flash on it.
But Larry was a good, strong, staunch supporter buddy too.
Well, it seems that all his family were behind him.
Yes.
They never interfered at all.
No, they were for him and encouraged him. And then I introduced Waylon Jennings and I were working at the same station.
Yeah.
Which Larry Corbin later on at that time, he was working for me. I'm the first man he ever worked for in radio. I hired him as a salesman. His two brothers and his dad owned the station.
Yeah.
And so I introduced Buddy to Waylon. After Buddy got married and came back, and I introduced him to Waylon, asked him to encourage him, you know. And so he took me on a tour with him. That's when the first tour that Waylon went with him when Buddy got killed.
Did you always expected Buddy Holly was going to be a star? You weren't at all surprised?
Oh no.
When that became a hit?
I knew he was going to have his ups and downs. In fact, the matter is, after they got the first record out, he came back and he called me out, and I had gone to Amarillo. And he called me from Lubbock and he said, "Hi," I said, "we're starving to death." I said, "Well, come on over and I'll put you to work in the Clover Club on Friday nights for a teenage dance." So we closed the bar down as far as beer sales are concerned, and Buddy drew a real good crowd, built it up tremendously, and a lot of other kids like Earl Sinks changed his name later on.
Was that the Earl Sinks who performed with the Crickets?
Yeah.
He was killed himself.
Is that right?
I think so.
Well, I hadn't heard that. But he
I think he was killed in a
came
plane
and
crash
asked
in
me if he
Texas.
could sing with Buddy there at the Clover Club, and I said, "Well, I'm sure Buddy won't mind." And Buddy gave everybody a break that wanted to.
Even though he wasn't a star himself at the time.
No. But he was on his way up. There's some people that are destined, I think, to become stars, and there's just nothing that's going to stop them. And Buddy Holly was one of those. I consider Waylon Jennings one too. But regardless of what happened, eventually he was going to break through and be a star.
Who was it who first discovered Waylon? Was it Buddy who first decided that Waylon could be somebody?
No, the Corbin always helped him, work with him. I met him possibly before they did. He came to a talent show that I had on Saturday. He was about 11 years old. And he won first place, and I gave him a little tabletop radio. And the last time I talked to him, he still had that thing. But Sky Corbin really worked with him a lot. And hired him, brought him to the station. Then Waylon and I came doing shows together, you know. Remotes, commercial remotes from stores and things like that.
So you were doing for KDAV and he was for KLLL?
No, we were both KLLL then.
Oh, you'd already moved by that time?
Yes. And in fact, I'd got out of radio for life and sold my interest in radio. I never was going back to radio again. Stayed out a year and a half. And went back to work for my ex-partner, KDAV. Worked a year. And dropped out for a month, went in the insurance business. A month later, I was working for KLLL. And went in as a commercial manager.
Do you know what KLLL, the letters actually stood for?
Pardon?
What KLLL stood for? KDAV was from Dave Stone, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Dave. KLLL, I don't know. McAllister was the one that gave that station the call letters. And I never did know. I don't suppose Corbin knew.
Well, Larry Corbin says it was for Lubbock, Laugh and Listen.
Well,
He said that McAllister used to joke about it.
Well,
He said he never did find out whether it was
he did.
true.
I've heard him joke about it, but whether that was the reason for it or not, like we had a station in San Angelo, KWFR, and the main stockholder in it, the president of the corporation, was I was manager of the station. His name was Walt Foster. And everybody kidded about this station call letters, keep Walt Foster rich. KWFR. So you see, really, I don't know why they called it KLLL. I do know the story on KDAV, of course, because we talked about it. And then when we put one in at Amarillo, I gave it the call letters KZIP, KZIP.
What was that for?
Just full of life, zip. And then the one put in San Angelo, I had no interest in it, but I had they put it in, and I gave it the call letters KPEP, KPEP.
And that was for?
Lots of pep, lots of life. So
is the K of any significance to the area?
it's hard to say why people use their own name in call letters a lot of time, like Dave did.
Yeah.
And I guess if I'd put in my own station, I'd probably call it KWJD or something like that, you know. But after my boy, KJOE, something, you know, along that line. But the station had out here, so K ran, and I left it that way, and these people are leaving it that way, Cochran County. And as a general rule, it had a tie-in with the vicinity.
Do you still work on the station?
No, just on special occasions. I'll do some special selling for them, and then when they have a cake-a-thon or anything, we raise funds for the March of Dimes and for the Cancer Association. Having a remote from a restaurant down here, and I auction off cakes. It's the highest bidder and this, that, and the other, and I've been doing it for a long time. So when that time of the year comes along, well, they just turn it over to me and drop out. And so I've done the last two more or less by myself. They're willing to help any way they can, but they're not familiar with it.
Have you had much dealings with Norman Petty at all?
What?
Have you had much dealing with Norman Petty at all?
Norman Petty, I met him years and years before Buddy Holly came along. He had a singing trio at that time. I didn't have too many dealings with him, but I knew too much about him. He got, to tell you the truth, he got greedy. And he was using Buddy. And I've had members of the, ex-members of the Crickets, and Buddy himself tell us they wish to goodness we'd listen to you.
You told him at the time?
I had to go there because Norman would put his name on a song and he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, this has been brought out in books.
He, but also,
Do you have a copy of the book? Have you ever read it yourself?
oh yes,
I was going to say, you can have my copy if you...
I have both copies of the book, and then I also have all the works like
Oh, was that sent to you from England? Was that from John Beecher?
Yeah, John Beecher.
He told me to send you his best regards.
Well, thank you. Tell him I'm really proud of this. I've been hospitalized a lot since they were here, and I haven't stayed in touch or anything. But I appreciate John sending it.
Yeah. When I said I was coming out to Lubbock, he said to me, "Are you going to see High Pockets at all?" Because I said last year when I came back, I said one day, I said I'll be going back there, and he jokes around. He said, "Will you go and see High Pockets when you're back?"
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, I will."
He's a real fine fella.
He's put in a lot of time and a lot of work into what he's done.
Yes, he puts a lot of work into it. A lot of people tell you, that, well, I'll send you a copy of it when we get it all done. You don't expect it. Here it comes, just like he said.